Hey all, and welcome to the brand new game When the Night Comes. This game is so new. It came out yesterday on Steam, and it doesn't even have um, any community content yet or anything. I believe that previously it had released some chapters, but this is the finished version, and it's on Steam now if you want to check it out. And it feels like it's been a while since I've played a visual novel. So let's jump on in, shall we? I'll use my name, which is Raven. 30. Do I want to use my also proper surname? Fuck it. Choose your pronouns. I wish you could choose between sets of pronouns, but it's more of a they them kind of day, so. Department of Enforcement, Office of the Lieutenant General. You've been selected for immediate transfer and are authorized to report to the enforcement headquarters in Lunaris Games. Please find your mission information and all other relevant documents enclosed. Once the information has been digested, we order the documents are promptly destroyed. This information is highly classified, as are all details of your relocation. Upon arrival, please report to General Augustus of Willenheim. Respectfully, Lieutenant General Harold Addington III. I've arrived in Lunaris at dusk. I've been traveling for days. My feet are sore, my eyes tired, and all I can think about is how much I need a damn good sleep. I'm a hunter, and I've been called here by Lieutenant General Vescria to lead an investigation. The matter is apparently urgent if the rapid way in which I've been summoned is anything to go by. The things that you hear about in ghost stories and fables are all real, and it's my duty and my purpose to protect humanity from those creatures that go bump in the night. There have been a series of particularly violent murders here in Lunaris lately, and the local enforcers, the agency that oversees us, can't seem to put their finger on who or what the culprit is. I was the most skilled hunter general in the previous town I was assigned to, but I eagerly welcome the change of scenery. Even if it does involve murder and a healthy dose of existential dread. Though as I sink further into the town, the feeling that washes over me is making me wonder if I made the right choice. As if I really had one at all. Our lives are bound, and I live to serve. As hunters, we're the only ones equipped to deal with such monstrosities. Plucked from our families at a young age, we're told that we hold an incredibly rare talent, not only passing the secret initiation that gives us the keen senses and empathic skills, but also in possessing the mental fortitude, intellect, and obedience necessary to ensure our effectiveness and loyalty. So, kind of like The Witcher, I guess. I steal myself and wander aimlessly through the unusually narrow streets, unable to focus on much else other than the thought of a warm meal and a comfy bed. The only thing that distracts me from such things is the way the sky begins to turn inky, infinite black. Wisps of mist swirl around my ankles, seeping out from every crack and crevice. Flickers of magic are present within the smoky tendrils, and I can't help but wonder if my mind is playing tricks on me. I turn a sharp corner and see people running, scooping up small children, scrambling to get inside. I hear the sound of doors slamming and locking, echoing off the crooked stonework. Curtains are drawn, the windows are closed, and then darkness, the abnormal kind. Although the stars are shining brightly at a glance and the crescent moon hangs low, neither offer much light. It's unsettling, to say the least. A chill rolls down my spine and I walk faster, my sore feet continuing their protest. The instincts that have been part of me since my initiation kick in, and I have a feeling deep in the pit of my stomach that I need to get inside fast. I spot a mage light lantern as I head further down the street. The dull blue flame flickers invitingly in the darkness, drawing me in. I push the weathered wooden door open, and the light tinkle of the bell that hangs above my head announces my presence. It's empty, only very dimly lit by a few worn-down candles. The shelves are stocked with curious trinkets and jars of strange-looking ingredients and potions, and an apparently endless collection of dusty old books lines the walls. It smells faintly of incense and a little bit of... Is that ozone? Yes, like the way the air smells just before a storm. Like lightning. I hear footsteps and turn to find their owner, and I'm taken aback by the figure that appears from behind a pair of well-placed curtains.
I was just closing up, but can I help you?
I was just closing up, but can I help you? Wide eyes burn into me brighter than the clearest of emeralds. His aura feels distinctly magical, and I'm aware that I'm looking at a witch, a powerful one at that. I'm sorry to intrude, but I appear to be lost. I'm looking for the tavern. His gaze falls to my weapons and my sash, his cheeks darkening as realization apparently sets in.
Are you the new hunter?
I offer him a wry smile. Is it that obvious? He returns my smile, and I can't help but feel welcome, at home even.
Oh, just a little. It's lovely to meet you. The town has been alight with gossip about you this week, you know. My name is Ezra, by the way.
I'm Raven. It's nice to meet you, Ezra.
Did anyone happen to tell you not to wander the streets when darkness falls? As capable as I'm sure you are, it's not advised. Especially these days.
I shake my head, still a little out of sorts from the long journey. Then, much to my embarrassment, my stomach decides to grumble loudly. How rude of me. You must be starving. Take a seat in the back room, and I'll quickly fix you something up. You really don't have to do that. I'd better be on my way.
You'll do no such thing. It's too dangerous out there. Please, I insist. It's no trouble, really.
Fuck it, let's do the Angus MacDonald voice for him. I can hardly refuse when he's looking at me like that. I can't do a British accent anymore. It's awful. I nod and follow him as he parts the curtains to reveal a cozy living space. There's a small kitchenette with a crooked dining table, and nestled in the corner is a tattered but comforting-looking sofa. Ezra fills an old steel kettle and pops it in the stove, igniting the stubborn burner with a grunt before he turns and offers me a smile.
I'm just going to pop upstairs and get you some blankets. I really do insist you stay until morning. You must be exhausted, and I'd hate to send you out into the darkness knowing...
He pauses, stopping himself.
Just wait here, and please, make yourself comfortable.
I can think of nothing worse than even walking across the street right now, let alone across town, so I swallow a polite protest. Thank you, Ezra. He disappears up a narrow staircase, and my curiosity instantly gets the better of me. A solitary candle burns upon the countertop, colorful, magical little lights hanging from various picture frames and shelves, as well as an abundance of luscious green plants. It's utterly enchanting, just like its owner, and obviously very well loved. There are generous amounts of personal belongings and keepsakes littering every possible nook, and a tiny dish that's overflowing with brightly colored jewelry. Besides, this is a pile of crumpled parchment. Some of the pages are covered in an elegant looping script, and others are filled with lovingly rendered portraits. I tentatively reach for one of the sketches at the top of the pile, but a loud creak startles me. I turn as alert as I've always been taught to be as my fingers edge towards my weapon. The hairs on the back of my neck stand to attention, and I immediately know that there's a creature nearby. It's when I see them. A pair of glowing, fierce golden eyes peeking out from a previously hidden hatch in the floorboards, before I can even think about defending myself. I'm pinned to the floor by a firm, cold, and inherently not human arm.
Who the hell are you? Where is Ezra?
His lips curl into a snarl, affording me what feels like an incredibly pointed view of a long set of sharp fangs. If I hadn't already clocked his deathly pallor, there'd be no second guessing what kind of creature I'm dealing with here. Vampire. I knew I'd already be quite dead if that was what he truly wanted, and I feel nothing from him other than an overwhelming desire to protect something or someone. His aura is panicked, but distinctly non-threatening, so I decide to relax against his hold. I cautiously raise my hands to surrender in the hopes that he'll stand down. We're taught not to harm creatures who have no intent to harm us. It isn't what we stand for, at least not the honorable hunters. Plus, vampires are the closest thing there is to humans in the Demonology Handbook, and I've met a few reasonable ones in my time. Emphasis on a few. He retreats a little just as I'd hold, just enough for me to gather my composure. Ezra is fine, I swear it. His bright, disarming eyes burn into my own as chills skittering over my skin. He looks like he's searching for something, his dark brows twitching as he studies my face, a thick scar cutting through the one on the right. Something that looks a lot like relief settles upon his face. I can't help but wonder what a vampire is doing sneaking into Ezra's house at this hour.
If you're playing tricks on me, I'll have your head. Understand?
I nod once, my hand still raised, where he can see I mean him no harm. I'm not lying, he's safe, he's upstairs. I dip my chin towards the staircase and hold who use his head and seek Ezra out with those impressive senses of his. He takes a step back, but he still doesn't seem to trust me. I don't entirely blame him, I know how he feels. Some of the kettle whistling as it comes to a boil distracts him, and he visibly relaxes. His gaze quickly darts to the staircase, then back to me. He steps back, the candlelight illuminating his angular face, all sharp lines and hair as black as the night. He's otherworldly, obviously attractive in that tall, dark, and dead way, and his left arm is missing from the shoulder down. He displays his advanced-looking prosthetic, flowing with what looks like incredibly advanced magic. He catches me looking at it, and quirks that scarred brow. Oh, I thought he just had, like, a tattoo sleeve. I didn't realize it was, like, a bionic arm, or a prosthetic, or what have you. It looks really cool.
Like what you see? Sorry, it's not for sale.
Ezra appears from upstairs, his eyes wide as he surveys the sight before him.
Finn? What are you doing here?
Iron fingers curl around Ezra's forearm, almost as though he's just checking he's real. His prosthetic thrums brightly as if it's reacting to the touch. I sensed that you felt uneasy. I came immediately. Are you okay? Ezra smiles, covering Finn's hand with his own to gently pat it, a reassuring gesture. The intricate patterns etched into the dark iron pulse like a heartbeat. I was only very briefly startled by the appearance of our new friend here. Right. Finn turns to me, dips his head in apology.
I'm sorry about that less than savory introduction, Hunter. Things are a little on edge here lately.
I'd never have guessed. Ezra shakes his head, clearly amused by my sarcasm.
I'm fine. You really don't need to jump every stranger that passes this way.
Are they boyfriends? Or could they potentially be boyfriends? I don't know. The final reassurance seems to make the tension melt from Finn's broad shoulders. Sorry, Raven, you don't need to be alarmed. He's an ally, I swear it. Even if he doesn't give the best first impression. Finn offers me a genuine, almost soft smile, but he looks guilty, as he should, I suppose. I catch Ezra eyeing me warily, clearly sensing my apprehension. It isn't like every night you find yourself in a magic shop staring at a witch and apparently friendly vampire. Finn's whole demeanor changes the second he lays eyes on Ezra, and I can feel any final traces of fear melting as he steps forward and offers me his hand. The smile that crosses his lips is mischievous, and cold fingers grip my own in a firm handshake when I reach for him.
It's truly a pleasure to meet you.
His pretty eyes brush over me like a caress, his pupils dilating, and I feel myself swaying, leaning towards him almost unconsciously. A soft whisper of muffled thoughts echoing in my mind. I can't quite tell if they belong to me or him. It's soothing, and whatever he's doing grants me the foresight to see that he most definitely is harmless, and he bears no ill will towards me. Something tells me that he now sees I'm harmless too.
Finnegan, stop that. It's not polite.
Finn closes his eyes briefly, breaking whatever connection he's created with me, and he offers me a killer smile, literally. Shit, those things are really no joke. He must be pushing at least 5 centuries. I've heard of vampires enthralling their victims before a kill, but that felt more like a request to be understood, like he wanted to show me he can be trusted. He exchanges an almost sheepish, knowing glance with Ezra, and I quickly feel my mind clearing itself. It's interesting to see such a powerful creature wither under a witch's gaze. Sorry, I'm just checking. He looks at me and our eyes lock. I nod, appreciating that he cared enough to put me at ease, and he's grinning again, wickedly. I hope he didn't hear anything untoward in there. Anyway, Ezra fuzzes with the kettle, pouring me a cup of fragrant tea and offering it to me on a pretty floral saucer. Here, this will help you get a good night's sleep. I take the cup with a nod, both of them staring intently as I take a small sip. It's good, refreshing, and exactly what I need. So, Raven, are you looking forward to becoming part of this shit? Ouch! Ezra elbows him in the ribs, throwing him a stern warning, and Finn flinches a little too dramatically for a big scary creature. Lovely town.
Do you have any idea what you've gotten yourself into?
I'm used to a little adventure. I truly hope I can help. Ezra looks defeated, but strangely optimistic. I want my words to sound honest, because I really have little choice. I have to help. It's my job. My duty. Well, you certainly seem capable enough. Finn grimaces, exchanging a strange look with Ezra, and I feel like they're not telling me something.
My clan and I are at your disposal, should you require any assistance.
Clan? He nods, but I decide not to press him for details yet. I'd definitely like to know how many supposedly good vampires reside here in Lunaris. I offer them both a smile and finish up my tea. Ezra hurries to take the empty cup from me and sets it upon the table. He places his hand upon Finn's arm. Finn, Raven needs to rest. Maybe you should head home? Finn nods, and Ezra follows him as he heads for the hatch. They embrace briefly, and Finn whispers something into Ezra's ear, the witch grinning brightly as he pulls away. Then Finn's warm golden gaze locks with my own, and he smiles.
Be sure to take care. If you ever need anything, just scream, and I'll come running.
He winks, and my traitor's cheeks threaten to warm at the sight of it. He notices and laughs quietly, a deep, comforting rasp that I could most certainly find myself getting used to. It was nice to meet you, Finn. Finn gracefully lowers himself into the hatch, and Ezra stares into the darkness until the door slams shut. He turns and retrieves a tin of biscuits from a cupboard, offering them to me and waiting expectantly until I take a handful.
Please don't let our apprehension worry you. I'm sure you're more than capable of getting to the bottom of all this. Some are saying the town has been cursed, but I sense something else. Something bigger.
Well, it's always a terrible night for a curse. Even though we've only just met, I feel like I can trust him. Within moments of my arrival, I can tell that something about this town is off, and I intend to get to the bottom of this mess. I have to live up to my apparently impressive reputation, right?
We've lost people, good people, and the investigation seems to have just halted. We don't know what more we can do. Ugh. Look at me getting all emotional when you're probably dead on your feet and desperate to get some sleep.
He quickly gathers himself, forcing a laugh to break the somber mood. Thank you for letting me stay, Ezra. I'll be out of your hair first thing. I stifle yawn as Ezra returns to fuss with some blankets. I'm thoroughly looking forward to settling upon the sofa, however tiny it may be.
Really, it's no problem at all. Wouldn't dream of letting you wander the streets at this hour, especially after that journey. I'll see you in the morning. If you need anything, just shout.
He heads upstairs and I eagerly remove my boots. The relief is instant when I settle against the cushions, pulling the soft blanket up to my chin. Despite the abundance of questions that currently flood my mind, I swiftly fall into a blissful, dreamless sleep. After I awaken, Ezra eagerly makes me more tea. I join him in the shop as I prepare to leave. I wait patiently while he deals with what sounds like a particularly difficult customer, doing my best to eavesdrop as I survey the books that line the walls. Most of them are in languages I don't understand. There's a strange energy in the air. My senses tell me that Ezra's visitor is also of magical origin.
You really can't just drop by like this and expect me to have what you need right away. These things take time.
That's always your excuse, Ezra. Do you not want me to work hard to save this town?
Ezra sighs, apparently not willing to argue, or maybe he knows he'll lose. Tall figure he's bickering with turns to look at me, and I'm caught off guard by their piercing eyes, their stare cutting me to my core. They scowl, their lips purse as they turn on a towering heel like I have a target on my forehead. Ezra looks like he's about to try and say something to stop them, but they wave dismissively over their shoulder. They come to stop before me and steal their gaze, staring me down and studying me from head to toe in a slow, pointed drag. I register the familiar violet sash that adorns her torso, the very same as mine, and I exchange a quick glance with Ezra. He looks apologetic as he hurriedly emerges from behind the counter to join us. An enforcer, then. One who apparently doesn't feel that it's necessary to wear the standard uniform. Or maybe they simply think they're too important. They have a commanding presence about them, and I can't help but wonder what rank they hold.
So you're my new subordinate? Interesting.
Gus. August? So this is the famous Major General Wilhelm I've been assigned to. They're a prolific figure of countryside, and they're known for being responsible for one of the best hunters that Escria has to offer. It would be a true honor to serve under them despite their apparently icy disposition. Historically, enforcers aren't the friendliest bunch. They live to serve just as we do, but they hold a much higher authority and love to remind us about it. The way Ezra said their name carried a warning, and August scowls at him briefly before turning their attention to me. I noticed how tired they look, their eyes heavy-lidded and their skin pale, and they even almost sway when they stand. Apparently Ezra notices too, a flash of concern crossing his features as he quickly rushes to gather some ingredients from a locked cabinet. It looks like he's done this before, seen them like this before. It's a pleasure to meet you, Enforcer Willenheim.
Yes, I know exactly who you are. Your arrival has caused quite a stir, and more than a little paperwork.
I glance over at Ezra, watching as he breaks off a few sprigs from a neatly wrapped bundle of herbs and pops them into a glass vial. Their foot taps impatiently on the floor, an exasperated scoff falling from their lips as they turn to look at me again. Once again, eyes rolling. So tell me, Hunter Adams, are you ready to partake in one of the most baffling missions I've come across? Of course, General. I'm looking forward to working with you. They quirk her perfectly sculpted brow, their lips pursed in contemplation.
I don't suffer fools, and I certainly don't tolerate tardiness. If you're capable, we'll get along just fine.
I want that sash for my own. It looks so cool. I mean, their whole look, everyone's whole look so far, I'm so into. But I want that fucking sash. Her unrelenting gaze burns into my own, and I swallow thickly, offering them as genuine a smile as I can muster under such scrutiny. I think everything will work out. This won't be as effective, but it'll do the job for now. As August eagerly reaches for the vial clutch in Ezra's palm, the witch pulls away and fixes him with a worried gaze.
Please stop doing this to yourself. They're pushing you too far and you know it. You're better than this.
Now we both know that's not true. Ezra surrenders the vial, the viscous violet liquid glowing dully as August takes it with a trembling hand. Ezra squeezes August's fingers before pulling away. He looks impossibly sad. There's always a choice. Remember that. August seems lost for words, but manages to maintain their carefully crafted annoyance. They reach for the door with yet another roll of their eyes, pausing briefly to catch my gaze.
I'll see you tomorrow. Don't be late.
We stand outside the shop, the sky bright, but the town somehow still feeling inherently gloomy.
If you ever need anything, you know where to find me. Please don't hesitate to stop by.
You won't get rid of me if you say that. Oh, I wouldn't mind. His smile softens and I feel incredibly grateful that I stumbled across him. I mean it though, anytime, and be careful. Thank you, Ezra. I bid him farewell, reluctantly leaving the warmth and safety of the shop behind to follow the rickety old street signs that point me towards the tavern. The place will be calling home for the foreseeable future. The tavern is bustling and full to the brim with red-faced patrons, tables littered with empty tankards. It's only 9:30 in the morning, but clearly this town likes to drown their sorrows, even if the sun has barely risen. I push my way to the bar, and a scowling barmaid rolls her eyes at me as I politely raise my hand to get her attention. What? Sorry, I have a room here. Can I check in, please? She promptly rolls her eyes again and ducks beneath the bar, reappearing within a few seconds looking even more pissed off. The room isn't ready until 2. You'll have to get a drink and make yourself scarce. I muster a polite, albeit forced smile, turning to find a table, but I find myself face to face with a striking, scowling woman who appears to be blocking me entirely on purpose. Hello there.
So this is the famous hunter that's taking my place then? You don't look like anything special to me. Come to gloat, have you? Rub it in my face.
Do I know you? I'm really sorry. Am I supposed to know who you are? The woman looks offended. Her jaw was clenched. Her hand firmly fixed to her hips. I glanced down and noticed the violet sash that's looped around her waist and her simple armor. A hunter, too, then.
Well, you've come to town to take my bloody job, so yes, I should expect you to know exactly who I am.
Ah, shit.
The name's Piper Merriman, and I'll be keeping a damn good eye on you.
The second you slip up, I'll be there. Got it? So I've really been called here to take Piper Merriman's place? She's a legend, having racked up more kills than some of the most seasoned hunters, and all the tender age of 24. I feel terrible. I wasn't told I'd be replacing anyone. Her being upset suddenly seems pretty justified. I'd be devastated if I was demoted too. We worked so hard and put our lives on the line, all of the majority of the enforcers sit safely behind their desks. Holding our fate in the hands that aren't stained with blood while our fingers drip with it. Piper makes a vague gesture at the barmaid, and she swiftly handed a glass of warm amber liquid that she delicately cradles in her palm. She stepped closer with narrowed eyes, surveying me in a way that almost reminds me of August. Pretty sure I won't be getting employee of the month anytime soon. We could always work together. I'm getting the feeling I'll need the help. And I'm sorry, truly. I can't imagine how frustrating this must be for you. She continues to look annoyed, but I can tell a more vulnerable emotion lingers beneath this seemingly rock-hard exterior. She swirls the room around, watching the gentle slosh of it as it coats the sides of the glass.
Yes, well, that's what I get for being utterly shit at my job, isn't it?
She scoffs the laugh, with a smile that curls at her ruby lips doesn't reach her eyes. Anyway, I'm sure I'll see you in the field. Not totally useless, apparently.
They just have me doing the awful jobs, the stuff that doesn't actually matter. What a waste of a perfectly amazing hunter.
Forces, just a bunch of pencil-pushing wankers. I stay silent, sensing she might need someone to vent to. I've been there. Our job can be hard, and not just in our bodies.
Anyway, I can see I'm boring you. I'll just be over there, continuing to drown my sorrows until Willenheim summons me.
They're such an arsehole. I have the laugh covering my mouth with my hand in a poor attempt to stifle the noise, and she seems briefly amused by my reaction. She offers me a thoughtful glance and sighs loudly.
Don't take any shit from them, okay? Come and see me if they bother you. I'm not afraid to stick my boot up their backside. Again.
Anyway, I'll see you around. She doesn't wait for me to respond, and with a flick of long chestnut hair, she's gone. I spot her disappearing into the heavy crowd that's mulling around the center of the tavern, a crowd that's apparently pretty pissed off about something. I decide to investigate. Might as well get stuck right in. What could possibly go wrong? I push my way into the crowd and find what I find both baffles and amuses me. A lycan, a hybrid lycan, sat smack bang in the middle of the tavern, arms folded across his chest. His smirk plastered across his scarred lips, his wolf ears twitching dismissively as townsfolk hoot and holler at him. The lycan doesn't seem to care and grabs his drink, taking a deep swig. My first impression is he seems perfectly harmless, even if his cockiness is an almost palpable aura. As I take a step closer, however, I can see the scars he bears. A seasoned scrapper then, not shy in the least, and eager to stir up the ire of the authorities or other creatures, apparently. He spots me then, his scarlet eyes flashing, and then he's kicking out the chair in front of him and gesturing for me to sit down. Either he's bold or he's got something to prove, and I find myself being watched by the eyes of every tavern goer. They're all waiting to see if I'm going to oblige the object of their disdain, and the tavern falls deathly silent. As I take a seat, the crowd slowly begins to disperse. But their eyes stay firmly fixed upon both myself and the lycan as they return to their respective seats.
They're lucky I kept my cool. Wouldn't you say, Hunter?
They are incredibly so. They obviously haven't seen a lycan in their true form, have they? But then you look an awful lot like a halfling. Is that a hobbit? I pointedly look at his souvenirs. He smirks, apparently highly amused.
Oh, I'm sure they've seen one or two around these parts. They're just stupid.
I grin, finding myself shamelessly liking him already. I see. How about you tell me your name and why you apparently have death wish hanging around a tavern full of humans who quite clearly aren't too fond of non-humans. He bristles, his tail wrapping around the leg of his chair as he places his now empty tankard upon the table. Noise draws a gasp from nearly every patron, and I glance over at Piper, who sits in the corner, either oblivious or uncaring.
It's Alcar, and I don't have a death wish. Not today, anyway.
Well, aren't we an edgelord? Only today? He smiles, folding his arms back across his chest.
You don't need to concern yourself with me, Hunter. I stay far away from your kind. From everyone. Mostly. I do enjoy coming here to rile this lot up, though. Unless they come looking for me, of course.
He glances over his shoulder, catching Piper's gaze. She flips him off, and he returns around to face me, his shoulders shaking with laughter.
I'm sure you'll grow to despise me in time. Just like every other idiot in this hopeless town.
He stands, and all the patrons stiffen. It's so quiet you can hear a pin drop, but Alcar merely rolls his pretty eyes and flashes me a sharp grin. Well, damn, everyone in this game has pretty eyes, I guess. Limbs all over me close enough that I can smell the earthy, distinctly petrichor scent of him.
If my advice is worth anything to you, then trust me when I say to trust no one.
Yes, sir. He stares me down. Even you?
Especially me. Goodbye, Hunter.
I watch him leave, feeling everyone's gaze still fixed upon me. I compose myself and offer them a smile, as genuine as I can muster after such an odd encounter. I glance at the clock and it's only 10:30. I have some time to kill. Alright, well, we haven't met everyone yet, but I think I'm going to leave things here. I'm probably going to make this a daily upload because it's so new. But yeah, let me know what you think of the game so far. What characters, if you have any inkling what characters you'd like to romance already, or maybe you haven't decided. But yeah, I haven't decided yet myself because we haven't met everybody. But let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.